I have completely different mindset. I have a completely different outlook. I mean, my outlook for my kids is completely different than my outlook for my wife. I look at my kids as I need to nurture them. I need to instill in them values, that they value themselves, that they value God, that they value the country that they live in, that they value other people, that they treat other people with respect and with love. With my wife, now by doing that, I have a certain, and some of you may disagree with this philosophy, I understand it, but I have a certain almost attachment. In other words, I'm not trying to be my kids' friends. Now later when they grow up and I don't have any influence over them and they're out of my house, sure, we can be friends. And I'm looking forward to that day. But now what they need is someone who is not going to be their friend. Because let me tell you, friends are going to accept bad behavior. And you can just look at some of your friends. You probably have friends that have extremely bad behavior, and you accept it. You say, that's just Jimmy, or that's just Joe. Well, I can't afford to do that with my kids because they're going to grow up and have interactions with other people. Now, I certainly wouldn't act that way with my wife. I'm not trying to instill in her beliefs or instill in her a way of looking at the world. In fact, almost the opposite. I'm looking at, I need to nurture this relationship, because if I don't nurture this relationship when the kids are gone, it's me and her. And if I haven't nurtured that relationship throughout the years, then, we may have some issues at the end. And then, of course, with my parents, it's a completely different relationship. Okay, so enough said. So there are different roles there. Now, the same thing happens in the marketplace. Okay, so again, we're talking, and I know you may be thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, Mac has gone off the deep end, but follow me here. Okay, so we're still talking about risk. Now remember, we're talking about losing money, right? That's exactly what we're talking about here. Losing money. Well, let's say I won't use dad because we do have, you're a parent and you're a spouse. Okay? So you have kids and you have a husband or a wife. Well, as a parent, one of the things you may be thinking of is safety, right? You may be thinking security. You may be thinking the same thing over here, security. You may be thinking retirement. You may be thinking college. Okay? There are all sorts of things that you're thinking of when it comes to losing money. So what happens when, if as a parent you're thinking, man, I need to provide security, make sure that my kids are safe, that they can go to college, and I need to have security for my spouse to make sure that that they feel like that we don't have to worry about money and that our bills are going to be paid, and then we also need to have a retirement. But then you're thinking, what if I lose money? Well, if you lose money, does that mean that your kids aren't safe or that they aren't secure or that they're not going to go to college? Well, realistically, hey, if you lose enough money, you bet. That stuff is out. If you lose enough money, your security is gone, your retirement is gone. So it's a valid feeling. Okay, not all the feelings that we have are inappropriate. In fact, most of the feelings that we have are actually appropriate given the circumstances that we're in. Okay? So, in this case, yes, if we lost enough money, then all of this would disappear. So, let me erase this. So how do you get around that? Well, the only way that you're going to get around it is by understanding what you're risking. Because if you don't have a firm grasp on the risk, it's absolutely unlimited.